It seems like everyone's been talking about this new payment model that was announced by the company behind the popular Unity game engine. I've even heard non-game development people like my coworkers in the coal mines talking about it. Usually when big announcements like this happen, the game developer community usually has a tendency to freak out. Maybe they just need to touch a little more grass like me. But after looking into it a little myself, and the more I thought about it, maybe this is a bigger problem than I thought. You see, on my channel, everywhere the light touches is rendered in Unity. The dark parts are Godot. And even though the recent announcement really only talks about adding a fee for games, I can't help but wonder if they're gonna come for me next.
Addy.
Let's get the pricing changes right out of the way. Starting January 1st, 2024, Unity is going to be introducing what they like to call a runtime fee, which is based on how many times a game is installed and how much money it made. They got 3 different plans. They got personal, pro, and enterprise. If you're under the personal or plus plan and you earn more than $200,000 and have a lifetime install count of over 200,000, then bingo, you qualify for this runtime fee. And the thresholds are even higher for pro and enterprise. If you make $1 million and have 1 million installs, then you're going to hit the threshold of paying the Unity tax. So once you've met that threshold, Unity will literally nickel and dime you for every subsequent install. The largest being 20 cents for personal developers, to smaller amounts for pro and enterprise memberships, and those numbers get smaller for each additional download milestone that they hit. So as they hit larger install milestones, they'll have to pay less. Does that make sense? Essentially, it's going to hit the people that make the most money. And I think the idea is that they're trying to hit mostly like mobile companies that make most of their money on ads. It punishes kind of the big guys. What most people are worried about is that since Unity is charging based on installs and not just purchases, that they might have to foot the bill for things like piracy. So if that counts as an install, then they're worried like somebody might just maliciously download the game over and over again to force them to have to pay a lot of money. I think people are also kind of worried about how this is going to be detected. Like, how are they even going to know how much money something is making? And with this announcement coming out of the blue, a lot of developers are kind of losing trust in the game engine and seemingly jumping ship. And what I'm really worried about is the slippery slope this might cause. Today it's game installs, but what about tomorrow? See, Unity is used for all types of things, from making movies, virtual tours. I even once worked for a company that made VR training experiences for the military. But I'm sitting here wondering if Unity might stretch its tentacles to some of the most important Unity users of all. People who make shitty YouTube videos on the internet, like me. I know it may sound like a stretch, but just bear with me. Let's say this channel made more than $200,000 in a year. It's a pipe dream, but please just subscribe. And since the whole thing is rendered in the Unity game engine, even though you're not downloading a game, you could probably equate a certain number of views to a certain dollar amount. Unity already kind of wants to push their engine not just for games, but for animators as well. So in my mind, it's not actually that much of a stretch to say that at some point they may want to expand that payment model to people like me. It might be if I hit $200,000 in a year, each subsequent number of views or something would require me to pay a certain number of that to Unity. Or maybe Unity would make some sort of like revenue share content claim on videos. I'm not sure how it works. I don't know how any of this would work really, but they might find a way. Maybe I'm just making a big deal out of nothing. I don't really use Unity a ton to make actual games, mostly for the channel, but if you use Unity, I'm curious to know what you think about this whole situation. What are you gonna do? I grew up with the program from the early days and I really like it. It's good software and it'd be really hard to let go. And what am I gonna do? Probably what I always do. Nothing, and hope that the problem goes away. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think of the whole situation below, and I'll see you next time. Love you. Bye.